I guess this is one of those deals and one of those stories, Brody, where you start with the why. Why did both parties decide to terminate this agreement?
Yeah, I mean, imagine getting paid $1 billion to break up. The reason, the big one is just that it was taking so long, right? 15 months ago, I think we sat here and spoke about why Adobe was going to buy Figma because it wanted to expand its kind of creative dominance to look at the app designers, the UI designers, and also just invest in a more lightweight product. But of course, regulators have been very skeptical of these deals where a big incumbent tech player will kind of scoop up a younger startup that maybe one day could threaten it. The sense is that regulators felt like they really missed the ball and not stopping Facebook from buying WhatsApp or Instagram. And they really wanted to kind of make an example here. And so they faced severe pushback in the UK, EU. The US regulators were expected to sue as well. And so there was a certain point where both Adobe and Figma said, we do not see a way forward here. I mean, they could have litigated this for another 6, 12 months, and it might have still not worked. So they decided to walk away.
I mean, Dylan Field, co-founder, CEO of Figma, putting out a blog today, really talking about, what was it, the thousands of hours spent with regulators, and yet they still couldn't get this deal away. We can see that Adobe's rallying a bit on the news, but what is the future of Figma? This is a big VC-backed company. There's a lot of money to be made on this particular bet, and I'm interested that they still seem pretty positive about what they managed to basically put to market during this time.
Yeah, the big question for us now is, are Adobe and Figma still on a collision course, right? Figma is growing rapidly. For those who aren't super familiar, Figma's really core market is the software that helps you design the way that apps and websites look, but they're expanding elsewhere. They've looked into more productivity software suite, kind of think about like a Google Workspaces kind of thing. They've looked a bit into image editing, right? And so you figure that this is a capable company, a capable leadership. They've hired 500 people in the last year. It's not hard to imagine a scenario where they grow to challenge some of these larger software companies like Adobe.
It's interesting. They talk about the huge advances in AI as well, and how that is an area of focus for the business. I mean, look, we're all waiting for IPOs and exits, and this is an exit that's put on ice. Do you think this company will be going in alone and looking to build in the public market, Brody?
I think it'll be a while before we see an IPO. I think, again, that Adobe was buying a fast-growing but somewhat still nascent competitor. I don't remember their revenue numbers, but, you know, they are rapidly growing. They're scaling. I think it'd be a while before we see an IPO. I mean, I've already seen, though, some theories out there, like, is Figma going to merge with Canva? Is Figma going to get acquired by these other large software companies? So I think you're right to ask, what are the next paths? What are the exits? Because I think there are many scenarios for Figma here.